What's poppin', everyone? It's week 6 of the Lost Woods Draft League, and we've got a doozy for you this week. It's me against my good friend Chris, coach of the Macho Mudkips. Got both of our teams on the screen right now, and as you can see, it's looking a little bit spooky. He's got two really strong modes. Of course, he has already shown the entire league how good the Trick Room mode is. The Bronze Song, Mudsdale, Vikavolt especially. Those three are just have just torn through a couple of teams already in this league. He's got the Disquake option. He has a lot of ground immunities that he can Earthquake next to. He can also switch in, for the Palmod and the other Grafai things that are weak to ground type moves too, which, makes things a little bit more difficult. But you still have to respect the fast rain mode too. He's got two Swift Swim users in the Basket Legion and the Beartic. Pelipper, of course, is one of the premier weather setters in the format. And he's got great support in Palmot, Grafai, and Vivian. Thankfully, Chris did make a transaction. I think it just went through earlier this morning, actually, that he dropped the Stonejourner for Scovillain in that last slot, which I think is objectively just good for me, because the Scovillain is a lot less scary into my team than the rock type that can just spam rock slides. We saw how well that worked, at least in one game, against John's team, for him at least. So thankfully don't have to deal with the rock type, but still spooky. And of course it's just a weird week in general. We are playing this one very early in the week. It's actually just 2 days after my last match against Ronald, the Waltham Watchhogs, because I'm leaving for Worlds in a couple of days. So I wanted to get this actually recorded and put out before I left. So that being said, we see that my loss last week did drop me down to an abysmal 5th place, just on tiebreakers, the other one-loss teams. But right behind me are those Macho Mudkips. It's a very, very important game, both for the personal rivalry and for the standings. Feels like two teams right now kind of going in opposite directions. Chris has a lot of momentum behind him, and I've been skidding. Just the one loss last week here in this league. But I've lost my last 2 games. My last 2 matches in the WPL as well. I actually haven't won a draft league set since I played John week 4 in this league. So really hoping to just kind of get off the snide and return to what makes my team in this league so strong. And really that is the Dragonite, the Meowscarada, and the the Dragonite, the Meowscarada, and the other just really, really strong Pokemon that I have, the Garganacl as well. So starting off this week, Roar Dragonite makes its triumphant return. I really don't want Trick Room to go up this week. And the best way that I have to stop that, I did already reveal against John, the Inner Focus Safety Goggles Roar on Dragonite. But I think I'm known generally as someone who, tries to be pretty creative with their draft league teams, doesn't reuse techs so often. So I don't think Chris is going to see it coming that I am just bringing this exact same Dragonite back 2 weeks later. The coverage moves are a little bit different, of course. I have the Thunder Punch at Extreme Speed. Terra Normal Extreme Speed is very, very strong into Chris's team outside of the Basket Legion, which is a ghost type. And the Thunder Punch is there to cover things like the Pelipper, the Basket Legion, the Azumarill. Electric damage is just pretty strong generally into Chris's team. The Speed stat outruns Modest Pelipper, so we don't have to worry about that as much, is the hope. Because Pelipper, I am just generally very scared of. It can do a lot of things. I also have a Choice Scarf Meowscarada this week. I knew I wanted to bring Meowscarada, but I wasn't sure exactly what set, until I noticed that Choice Scarf Meowscarada actually outruns Swift Swim Basket Legion when the rain is up. It's just that much faster, and I can still go Adamant and get that, that speed boost. Now, if he is Jolly Basket Legion with Swift Swim and the rain is up, then he'll outspeed me. But if he's Jolly, there's no way for him to one-shot Meowscarada without burning his Terra. So I still have the advantage there as well, that I can, move second and click Flower Trick or Knockoff and still pick up that KO. Or if I know that he's Jolly already, then I can lock in a Sucker Punch and get that taken care of. The Sucker Punch is also there, just as very good, kind of a safety valve if Trick Room does go up, and I can get some last second damage off. We're Terra Ghost on both of these Pokemon, the Meowscarada and the Pikachu, just because that fake out from the Palmot is very scary. For Pikachu though, I think Pikachu is very, very strong this week. It's another week against rain. So I can run just Naked Thunder on my electric type and abuse the rain that Chris is likely to set up. Endeavor on this Pokemon I think is going to be very valuable because he has a lot of bulky Pokemon that are difficult for me to remove, but with a 0 HP IV on Pikachu, the HP stat is so low that even if I'm at full still, I can knock the Bronzong below half of its health, I can knock the Mudsdale down very low, the Vikavolt I can take a lot of HP from it. So it's just very consistent damage across the board because Pikachu's base HP is so low. I still am able to get some helping hands off to boost my partner's damage, and of course the Thunder and the Rain is still going to do, as much damage as it needs to, with a 50 special attack stat. We've got Garganacl next. This Garganacl I'm very proud of. I do speed tie the Mudsdale if he is also 0 speed IV and a negative speed nature, but with Terra Fairy, I'm neutral into everything that Chris might be able to throw at me except for some Gyro Balls from the Bronzong, but because I'm so slow myself as well, I don't really care about those, and I can set up the Sun with Sunny Day to make the matchups into things like the Azumarill, the Pelipper, a lot more manageable for this Pokemon. Even, the Pawmot, things that can hit my Garganacl super effectively without Terra, fighting type moves, body presses, things like that I'm able to resist with the Fairy type as well. Salt Cure, Recover, Garganacl doesn't really need to do much more than that. Important to note that it is going to speed tie the Mudsdale, like I mentioned. Bronzong is 2 points slower, which is the one downside, but if we see Garganacl go before Bronzong, then we'll have confirmed that that is actually min speed, and we can kind of play the rest of the game out from there. Kind of a little bit of a skill check just to make sure that Chris is actually running 0 speed in this Pokemon if he wants to set Trick Room up against me. Last couple of Mons are here just to do as much damage as possible. This Arbok, I think Coil, Gunk Shot, Sucker Punch is really strong this week. I debated putting Protect on there, but I think Terra Grass Seed Bomb, because the Mudsdale is such a big threat, it's the one Pokemon on his team that I can't intimidate because of Inner Focus. Having a Mudsdale delete button, I think, is just very important for my team. I wish I could get a little bit more bulk in there, but it's nice to have Arbok a little bit faster. Again, outspeeds Modest Pelipper, outspeeds my Dragonite by 1 point, so I can confirm a lot of speed tiers that way. And in a similar boat, this Samurott, you may have seen, the Roar on Dragonite, the Grass Pledge on Meowscarada. You might think, well, what utility do those moves even have? Well, I can side roar my Samurott out with this Hydro Cannon, so it doesn't have to take the turn of recharge. And because I was planning on running Water Pledge on Samurott already, that fourth move on Meowscarada was Thunder Punch, it was U-turn, but now I have Grass Pledge on there because, as I mentioned, Meowscarada does outrun Chris's entire team, even the Swift Swim Pokemon, when the rain is up, because Beartic has Swift Swim, but it's even slower than Basket Legion. So even with rain up, I'm able to move first with Meowscarada and get essentially a priority 150 base power Grass move if I go double Pledge with Samurott on the field, which is awesome. Otherwise, Water Pledge, it's 80 base power move, it's just pretty consistent damage. I also have Terra Blast, that I can click into things like the Azumarill, the Mudsdale, the Basket Legion even. It just does so much damage, and especially if Chris is able to set the rain up, and I can abuse the rain with my Hydro Cannons. This Hydro Cannon, max special attack, Modest, Life Orb in the rain, will just one-hit KO a Bronzong, even if they're reasonably specially defensive. It's awesome. I think Samurott is going to have a phenomenal game offensively this week, and I think I have the support for it. I would have loved to have Taunt somewhere on the team, would have loved to have Redirection somewhere, but the Lightning Rod on Pikachu is a pseudo redirector against the electric types. I have Roar that's a pseudo taunt, and I feel like I have a lot of speed control with the many priority moves and the pledges that can potentially set up the swamp if I can stop Trick Room from going up. If I set the swamp and Trick Room goes up, things do get a little bit spooky, but we're going to try not to do that. I'm going to also try to not click Thunder Punch while my Pikachu's on the field and activate my own Lightning Rod, although could be nice to get some guaranteed special attack boosts on Pikachu, you know, if they're just leaving it alone and I can, you know, threaten with a little bit more damage later on in the game. But that is the team for this week. Really trying to get back on track. You know, this is kind of a prove it week for the team. You know, I'm bringing just good, solid Pokemon, and we're going to see if we can execute a little bit better than we did last week. So we're going to be starting this game here pretty soon, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, now we're here, getting ready for this game, and we see female Basculeech. That's the first thing catches my eye. No Grafaiai, which I also love to see. Definitely looks like he wants to lean into the Trick Room mode, for sure. He doesn't bring Vikavolt either, though. Okay, so he's kind of going hybrid. I would imagine Tailwind probably on Pelipper and Trick Room on Bronzong. Both of those make sense. Potentially a Choice Scarf, but maybe a Specs on the Basculegion. A lot of Chris's team boils down to where the items are. You know, where the Assault Vest, Choice Band, Focus Sash especially are. I really want to try to figure that information out as early as possible. Right now, I do want to show him that I can stop Trick Room. So we're going D-Knight, we're going Pikachu. I can go Fake Out Roar into pretty much anything he does. No Vivian, so my safety goggles are useless. Bummer, but okay. Samurott is really, really strong here, and I think it is Garg, just in case Trick Room goes up. But that feels kind of weak. No, I think it is Meowscarada. And if Trick Room does go up, things get spooky. But that's why we have Protect on the Dragonite. That's why I have Protect on the Samurott. We may even be slower with Dragonite than, you know, something like the Basculegion, depending on how that's trained. So, yeah, a lot of ways this could go. So we're going to see. Really just trying to lock in here. Okay, so he does just lead Rain immediately. That's very interesting. And I didn't bring my Garganacl, because part of the reason why Garganacl is so good here is that it is immune to... Or not immune, but it resists Ghost, effectively. Well, I can't Thunder Punch while Pikachu's still in the field. So I'm just going to Protect and click Thunder into this Basculegion. I don't think this will KO, but it will do a lot. If he does, just let me get this off. And Pelipper protects. Okay. That's great. Pelipper protecting is very, very good. We'll see how much this does. Okay, so the Basculegion is Scarfed. It is Scarfed. It is locked into Hydro Pump. Very, very good to confirm because it moved before my Pikachu. But I do get my Thunder off. Okay. So Basculegion, we have confirmed, is Choice Scarf. That's great. Likely just max special attack Modest. And that's Hydro Pump. Okay. Now, with Pikachu, I can... Do I think they're going to knock out Pikachu before Dragonite attacks? I think it's decently likely, but I can also just Extreme Speed and Thunder the Pelipper. Okay, he's tearing. It is the Pelipper. And it's Terra flying. Okay, so if this Hydro Pump doesn't go into Pikachu, then... Oh, but the Endeavor's only going to bring it down to 1 HP. Oh, that's silly. And they're not... Oh, they're just Swift Swim. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. They are just Swift Swim. It's a Terra Flying Air Cutter. Does this KO? Probably... No, okay, no it doesn't. Okay. Well, that's good. Because they are Swift Swim. So even if they're timid, let me just make sure I... If they're timid, they will outspeed my Meowscarada. They're not scarfed. They are... Let's just put, Mystic Water. Yeah, I am going to go out into Meowscarada, though. Because I want to confirm... I can actually just Sucker Punch, right? But no, I want to confirm if they are, in fact, timid. So I'm just going to click Knockoff. Because this also covers for something switching in. Okay. So as long as they're not timid, I should just be able to pick up both KOs, and even if they are timid, they're not going to be able to knock out Meowscarada here. That was the whole point about still being adamant. Going Terra Normal, my Extreme Speed will do more damage, so it should knock out the Pelipper. Okay. Good. That's great. And now I am going to be revealing Scarf. Yes, okay, sick. That's awesome. That's so good. Oh, but it's Culver Berry. Still super effective, still gonna do way too much damage. Okay, so we have learned some phenomenal information. It is Culver Berry. That's pretty heat. That's pretty sick. But thankfully, still just too much. Okay, now it's Azumarill and Pawmot. It's Azumarill and Pawmot. So I want to save Meowscarada, I think. Is this Thunder Punch? This doesn't KO Azumarill, right? No, not even close. Yeah, so I am going to... I'll E-Speed Pawmot and swap out into Samurott. Because if he does just go for like Fake Out, because he knows that I'm Scarfed and he knows that I can't Terra. So I think something like Fake Out Meowscarada, cool. And probably like Liquidation or Aqua Jet into Dragonite makes a lot of sense. That's great damage. I know, it is just Play Rough. Oh... But, okay, they drop our attack, but that's fine. Even with... Okay, that's awesome. Because even with the lowered attack, or the lowered HP IV, I'm actually 29 IV on HP for my Samurott, because it will take less from Life Orb Recoil. Okay, so I can just E-Speed and into Azumarill with the Rain Up. My Water Pledge actually does more damage. I am exactly in range of Life Orb Recoil, which is a bummer. Okay, but no Protect. So Pawmot likely does not have Protect if it doesn't go for it there. So that's good. Dragonite continuing to do Dragonite things. We see that we're faster, which is expected. Oh my goodness. That does so much damage. And I keep Chris from taking that KO. Always good for the differential. Okay, Ice Spinner. Okay, so he reveals... So he's probably AV, right? I would imagine if he's got... We know Play Rough, Ice Spinner. I would imagine Liquidation, Aqua Jet. That would just make the most sense. Thankfully, we know we're faster. We know that they cannot Terra. And I will just click Flower Trick here to finish this one off. Okay, cool. Cool, that felt good. It got a little bit spooky. What? It got a little bit spooky because they're Swift Swim, because they're not Adaptability. I definitely thought that they were just Choice Scarf, but Swift Swim makes a lot of sense. We did not have to reveal Roar on Dragonite. All they know is Protect, and E-Speed. I didn't even click Thunder Punch. We never got to see where the Focus Sash was, which is a little bit of a bummer. I would like to have that confirmed. It's probably either on Pelipper or on Pawmot. And since Pawmot is probably not AV, because I think that the Azumarill is AV, I think it makes more sense on Pawmot. Okay. Okay. So I can lead Meowscarada very safely here, actually. Like, I can lead D-Knight Meowscarada and just put on a ton of pressure, and then have... Yeah, then have, like, Garg and Samurott. So that way I have all three of my protects. And Garg is a pretty decent switch-in to a lot of things. Would I like to have Arbok here? Yes. But because there's special Basculegion, and because it's Colbur Berry, I am not in as big... yeah, I'm not as worried about it. So yeah, we'll do that. Having U-turn on Meowscarada would make it a lot easier to lead, but because we know that we're faster than everything on their side, it's pretty safe. Even, you know, the Swift Swim Mon, we outspeed. Okay, so they just go Bronzong Mudsdale. They can't Terra both of these things. They can't Terra both of them. So, we are going to click Roar on the Bronzong. And I'm also going to try to knock it off. Because I don't think they're going to let me just take Mudsdale from them. So I'm going to Roar into Bronzong, because getting rid of Bronzong is a lot more important here. So any chip that I can get is very strong. And they're just going to protect. Okay. This knockoff won't KO. That does a lot, though. Okay, so they're more specially defensive, and they're just Mental Herb. And we are going to get the Roar off. That's awesome. I love this Pokemon, man. I love Dragonite. It's so cool. And now it's just Pelipper. And so, into this Pelipper, how much does my knockoff do? Meowscarada into... Because we saw that my extreme speed did like almost half. Oh, so they're like no bulk. Okay, so I think the Pelipper's probably Sash then. So yeah, I can go knock off E-Speed pretty safely. Oh, I can actually just Thunder Punch. Yeah, I don't need to E-Speed, unless it's Timid Pelipper. Then I might lose Meowscarada here. Okay, but they're going to Terra something. It's probably Mudsdale. No, it is just Pelipper. Okay. Okay, so if it's Timid Pelly, then I think I do lose Meowscarada here, which is a bummer. Actually, no, I'm a Dark type, so I'm not weak to it anymore. Other Scope Lens, and they are Timid. Okay, I should have gone for Extreme Speed. It does crit, but it does not KO, and my Thunder Punch is going to finish it off. Okay, so we know Timid, Pelipper, they're Scope Lens. I believe they're just max Timid then. Just updating the notes, and it is Rock Slide. I think it should survive with... Oh, survive with both. Surviving with both is extremely, extremely good. And they've already burned Terra. I've revealed all of Dragonite's moves now. Scope Lens is the item. Dragonite. will... Yeah, I think I can just Thunder Punch Bronzong and click Knock into Mudsdale. Okay, they are just going to give it to me. That's cool, and I get to knock off the Lumberry, which is nice, and we'll see if there's Stamina. No, they're Inner Focus. Good. And we are going to take that KO. Okay. This feels extremely, extremely strong. Rock Slide comes out. It will knock out both. So it does make it a 2v2. But I still have my Terra. And I have Protect on both my mons in the back. Now, if this is Pawmot as the last, it's a little bit spooky. But it's Azumarill. Okay. I think the Azumarill is AV. I am going to Protect with both, though, just to be on the safe side, just to try to, you know, bait out a Protect, because we know that my Garganacl is going to be slower than at least this Azumarill. So I'm just going to Protect both. I think there's a decent chance the Azu is Clear Amulet. I also think there's a decent chance that Mudsdale just protects here. So Samurott, we know, is the fastest thing on the field. I am also very fine with, you know, removing some of these rain turns. So we'll see what Chris does here. This is really just, you know, just a full scout play. Okay. So I get my Protects off. Okay, they don't Protect. They do just click Play Rough into Samurott and High Horsepower. Oh, they doubled that guy. Okay. How many turns? One more turn of rain. Okay, so I should be able to win this by going Water Pledge into Mudsdale and Terra Fairy and Salt Cure Azu. Mudsdale we know can Protect, which makes me a little nervous. But since he didn't Protect last turn, hopefully he won't Protect on this one. We do know that Azu's Play Rough does not KO Samurott, and so Play Rough plus Play Rough plus Aqua Jet outside of rain, we maybe survive with no Life Orb recoil, because the first Play Rough left us at 16, and I was with some Fake Out chip, so I think there's a chance. My Terra is going to come out here. And I think Terra Fairy is the right call. I was Terra Poison for a while, just to, like, you know, Terra Poison in the sun just completely walls Azumarill. But I think this was just better. Okay, and we are going to get our Water Pledge off. Bang. That's great. And this is just Play Rough. Okay. Another attack drop. So glad I brought Special. So glad I brought Special Samurott. Okay, this is where we click Hydro Cannon. I think it kills from this range. I think it does. Oh, if they're AV, it super does not. It, like, super does not. So I'm going to Protect both. Because I want to try to get them in range of a Hydro Cannon. Okay, it's Waterfall. Waterfall over Liquidation is a little bit interesting. Okay, yeah, that's got them in range, even if they're AV. And I will click Sunny Day because I'm going to be moving second. Okay, Hydro Cannon, it does hit. Let's go. Okay, that's what we were hoping for. Okay, very good. Sent GG's over to Chris. I told him I was really hoping for that Hydro Cannon animation. So we got to see it. Okay, I feel a lot better about that. That felt a lot smoother than I expected, which is great. I'll probably close this one out pretty quick so I can chat up with Chris a little bit. This is also a Sunday when we are playing this set, so, you know, get back to things. But yes, you can see the very good on HP on Samurott. I had the 0 speed on Garganacl, and I had the 0 HP on Pikachu. Very, very teched out with the IVs this week. I feel really good about those. And we got to see Samurott actually do a ton, which is great. Just like I said in the last video, we were hoping that this guy could pull something off. But as always, MVP's Dragonite. Like, the guy's just too good. This set is so dirty. So dirty. Inner Focus Goggles Roar, there's no way to stop it. I just get rid of Trick Room. Garg, we got to see it actually hit the field. Pikachu could have done a little bit more, but honestly, like, Pikachu did everything it needed to do, which is Click Thunder one time. Click Thunder exactly one time. Arbok in Spirit, beautiful. And I said this last time about Scrafty, but in a hypothetical game 3, Arbok goes crazy. Arbok goes so nutty in a hypothetical game 3 where I just bring it on lead, Terra, Grass immediately, and start coiling up. Like, it goes nuts. Shout out Meowscarada. Scarf set was so good. I don't know, you know, I don't think it would have been worth it for Chris to go like Timid on the Swift Swim Mon just to be faster than Scarf Meowscarada. But I'm very proud of myself for recognizing that and putting that on the team. So yeah, 5-1 should be. Yeah, Corrosion did the math. Technically, I'm not locked for playoffs yet, but it's in very, very good position to get myself into playoffs, even if the last couple of weeks aren't exactly what we want them to be. So thank you all for watching this one. Thankfully, it was a lot shorter than last time, and a little better result. So we're moving forward on to Honolulu, and then after that, on to week 7. So I'll see you then.